I lost my job and my girlfriend left me. Instead of crying, I did. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I, 29/M, was with a girl, 30/F, for a year and a half. She fell head over heels for me, while I wasn't even looking for any kind of a relationship. I approached the whole situation casually, but before anything even began, I told her not to expect anything serious from me, because I was not the relationship type, due to bad experiences in the past. Yes, infidelity. But we kept seeing each other and she kept pushing and pushing for a commitment. I really started to like her personality, silly me, and after 3 months of fooling around, I decided to give the relationship a try. She was from a different town, about an hour away, but she would spend every weekend, holiday, vacation with me at my place. When we met, I was a CEO/project leader of a company me and some other fellas tried to build from the ground up, but the owner, boss, unfortunately wasn't able to secure enough funds for us to continue working on it, despite the fact that we were 2-3 months away from putting the product on the market. I am from an area, a country in Europe, where jobs are really hard to come by, but nevertheless I applied for everything I was qualified for. I didn't care, I just needed a job. I got quite a few interviews, but no luck actually securing a job. This went on for 6 months. Of course, the fact that I didn't have a job made us both a bit uneasy, but I really didn't get a feeling that it was affecting our relationship at all. At the beginning of this year, January, I had a meeting with my counselor at the Unemployment Bureau. She asked me if I wanted to attend some courses where they teach me to code. Without hesitation, I said yes. Not only would I be able to get a job, I wouldn't need to worry about employment for the rest of my life. I applied. A few days later I found out that they accepted me. I don't know what their criteria was, but I knew that didn't want to take just anyone, and I was ecstatic. But something was off. A few days prior I started to notice her being kind of weird. Cold. Unattentive. I knew something was amiss. She was starting fights over nothing. I couldn't make sense of it at the time. In one of the arguments we had I said, look, everything is going to be fine now, I'll learn to code, and after a few months, we will be set for life. And she responded with something along the lines of who cares, you're going to fail miserably anyways. Phew. That was weird, I said to myself. But I shrugged it off as her being in one of her bad mood swings. Didn't think much about it at the time. As you might have figured out by now, there was someone else in the picture. A week later she dumped me for her coworker, a high school dropout, working a manufacturing job. I was beyond shook. I was sitting in my pain for the next 3 months. But it was high time for me to stop feeling sorry for myself, as I had started with my classes. COVID postponed the whole thing a bit, and I had a lot of work to do, since I've never ever seen code before in my life. Now mind you, these courses were Microsoft courses, and the exams we were studying for were Microsoft exams, for which they only gave us 3 months of time, counting down from the last lecture of each course, so I had my work cut out for me. This kind of exams are usually taken by people who have a degree in computer science, or are at least employed programmers for the last few years. One day, I got home from my classes, opened my laptop, reading the book, doing some exercises until like 1 a.m. I was drained. And the more I was looking into it, the less I understood. But at least I got started. I went to bed, tossing and turning, and thought to myself, what in the hell did I get myself into? I will never pass this stuff. Then, out of nowhere, I heard those words in the back of my head, while she was cheating on me with the other guy, who cares, you're going to fail miserably anyways. I lit up like a Christmas tree, got back up, and continued to code until 4 a.m. Every time I was exhausted and about to lose it from all the new information, I remembered those words, and it was more than enough to keep me going. Today, my fellow betrayed, I passed the first Microsoft programming exam, and I was already studying for the second one for the last 2 months, a totally different programming language, which I plan to also take, and pass as well. Like the title says, sometimes the much needed motivation comes from a strange place. I just wanted to share this with people who can relate in some way to this story, as I haven't told anyone else yet. Update. It's been a little over a year since my first and last open topic on this subreddit. At this opportunity I would like to thank every single one of you for your support and your encouraging words. At the end of each year I like to take some time for myself, and look back on the year. Therefore I decided to write another post to this community, since it has been so helpful and encouraging to me in the past, and hopefully to inspire even one person, going through the same turmoil and hurt I went through almost 2 years ago. So what happened since my last post? I got my first software developer gig at the very beginning of the year. The very first company I sent my CV to decided to hire me not long after my original post. I started work in the beginning of January this year. My initial contract was only for 6 months. Understandably, the company wanted to make sure that they didn't take on board a cat in the bag, and I was eager to start my career, so I took the job. They allowed me to work from home, although the offices are only a 3-minute drive from my place. I decided to make sure that I'd take full advantage of the opportunity, and to display to the whole world who I am and what I am capable of. After about 3 months on the job, I was having a Skype call with the lead tech of the software we were developing. He was not a member of the company, but was a private contractor. This guy was one of the most respected developers in the whole country, and has been working for himself for the past decade. Towards the end of our conversation, he said, "Hey, do you work on any project for yourself?" I responded with, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I got a lot of clients, and they are all looking for software developers. You got some real talent, so let me know if you are interested. I can recommend you to them." I said, "Well, not right now. I have a non-compete clause in my contract, but that contract will expire in the summer, and I can hopefully renegotiate with my company to take the clause out." He replied, "Do that, and then notify me." Thus, at the end of 6 months, the CEO of the company called me. He said that they are ecstatic with my work ethic and my potential, and they would like to extend my contract. I said, "Sure, I'm interested." I mentioned that I wanted my non-compete clause out of my next contract, and he responded with, "Well, I'll have to check up with the owner first on that." He then proceeded to tell me the salary they were prepared to offer me in our new deal. I immediately knew I am worth more than that. In my mind I was like, "You are absolutely insane if you think I will sign that." But I responded by saying, "I'll get back to you." I could hear in his voice that he was taken aback a bit by my response, but said, "Okay, notify me when you think about it." I gave him a call a few days later, a day before my contract officially expired. We talked for a bit, and he said that the owner does not like the idea of my opening my own software developing business, as they were scared that would affect my focus and work in their company. I said that I understood, but I knew that I wasn't backing down from that, as independent software developers are making a killing out here. Later that day, I responded to him with an email, where I stated what kind of salary I want, and that I want the non-compete clause out of the contract, and those terms were non-negotiable. The next day, the day my contract officially expired, I got a call from the owner. Inside 15 minutes, he agreed to all my terms. All I had to do was sign with them for an indefinite term. And the very end of the conversation, the owner said, "Oh, and one more thing. You are not a software developer anymore, you are head of the IT development." I responded with, "Damn it, I should have asked for a higher salary." We both laughed, happy that we reached an agreement. I accepted the offer, and started contacting the companies the lead tech connected me with. Long story short, I finished this year with not only getting a job, but becoming the head of the department at that company that hired me, and after my job, I am working for clients in the afternoon/evening that are working on projects for the state. Yes, you read all of that correctly. People admire me and respect me, and needless to say, money is the least of my worries nowadays. My monkey branching ex? As far as I know, she is still with the loser she dumped me for, struggling to make ends meet every month. If she had any concept of loyalty, she could have been a retired stay-at-home wife/mom by now, which she stated multiple times that it was her wish. I guess she would rather struggle for the rest of her life than to support her man and wait another year and a half. Oh well, c'est la vie. Merry Christmas to every single one of you. If there is anything I want you to take from my update, is that you should take that pain and hurt, and turn it into a fire in your belly that will propel you to new heights, and enable you a life you never even dreamed of. I know it is still pushing me to be even better and achieve even more every single day. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.